Marcus Williams walked slowly through the corridor of the Chase Center, cardboard box in his hands, 13 years of memories packed into space that fits in his arms. The arena is empty now, silent, only the sound of his footsteps echoing against the concrete. He stops, looks back. One last time. The corridor he walked thousands of times, always 2 steps behind, always vigilant, always invisible. A tear rolls down. He dries it quickly. Habit of 13 years. Never show weakness. Never let anyone see. 13 years, he whispers to himself. 13 years protecting the greatest shooter of all time, and he never knew my full name. The security guard at the door watches him with pity. Sorry, Marcus, you were one of the good ones. Marcus forces a smile. Thank you. He passes through the last door, outside, into the world where he is no longer Steph Curry's security guard, where he is nothing anymore. The greatest sacrifices are those that no one ever sees. But to understand why this dismissal and what Marcus did afterwards shocked not only Steph Curry, but the entire world, we need to go back to the beginning, to 2011, to a man of 32 years old who received the opportunity of his lifetime. Autumn of 2011. Marcus Williams had just been hired as Steph Curry's personal security guard. At the time, Curry was not the global superstar. He was a promising player struggling with ankle injuries, uncertain future. But something about Curry caught Marcus's attention. Why do you want this job? The Warriors' security manager, Kevin O'Connor, asked during the interview. It pays less than corporate security. Irregular hours. No glamour. Marcus looked straight into his eyes. Because I'm not looking for glamour. I'm looking for purpose. And protecting someone who can make a difference? That's purpose. He was hired on the spot. The first day, Marcus introduced himself to Curry. Mr. Curry, I'm Marcus Williams, your new personal security guard. Curry smiled, that genuine smile that would become famous worldwide. Marcus, nice to meet you, but call me Steph, please. I prefer Mr. Curry, Marcus responded professionally. It keeps things clear. And so it began. A relationship of 13 years, one man protecting another. But what no one knew, what not even Curry knew, was the extent of this protection. The price that Marcus would silently pay. You may realize that there are people in our lives whose contribution we only understand when they disappear. The first years were formative. Marcus learned Curry's patterns, his schedules, his favorite places, his needs. But he also began to see things that worried him. The demand was relentless. Enthusiastic fans wanting photos at any hour. Last-minute events that extended workdays. Complex logistical coordination in every city. And Marcus, always vigilant, always 2 steps behind, managed all of this, silently. Game against the Lakers in Los Angeles. After the match, a crowd of fans surrounded Curry in the parking lot. Everyone wanting autographs, pushing. In the confusion of organizing a safe exit, Marcus ended up pressed between vehicles and the crowd. Cracked rib. Paramedics arrived. You need to go to the hospital. I can't. I need to make sure he gets to the hotel first. Man, you're injured. It doesn't matter. He needs to get there safely first. Marcus accompanied Curry to the hotel, made sure he was safe. Only then did he go to the emergency room. 3 hours waiting. Rib bandaged. Back to work the next day. Curry never knew, because Marcus never told him. It's not his job to worry about me, Marcus thought. It's my job to take care of the details. And so it went, year after year, sacrifice after sacrifice, always invisible, always silent. Warriors champions. Curry MVP. The rise to global superstardom. And with fame came an exponential increase in demands. Marcus worked 16 hours a day, slept 4, never complained. His daughter Sophie was 8 years old. "Dad, are you coming to my birthday?" "I'll try, princess." But he didn't go. He was working, protecting Curry at a post-championship event. Sophie cried. Marcus cried later, alone in the car. "Someday she'll understand," he told himself. "Someday." Sophie, now 10 years old, started having back pains. Marcus took her to the doctor. "It's scoliosis. It needs monitoring. She may need surgery in the future." The weight fell on Marcus. Surgery meant money. A lot of money. But he was earning well. He was prepared. Or so he thought. Curry and Warriors in the finals again. The pressure at its peak. And Marcus received a call from Sophie's school. "Mr. Williams, Sophie is going through a difficult time. Other children are making comments about her always being alone. She needs more family presence." Marcus's heart tightened. This crossed the line. Sophie was suffering emotionally because he was never present. He could have asked for time off, should have, but he didn't want to leave Curry unprotected before the finals, didn't want to distract him. So Marcus solved it alone. He hired a private tutor to accompany Sophie after classes, to give attention that he couldn't give. Out of his own pocket. $3,000 he didn't have, but he kept his daughter supported and kept Curry focused. Never mentioned the problem. Warriors lost the finals. Curry devastated. And Marcus? Marcus only thought, "At least he had my full support. At least Sophie had someone. It was worth it." Loyalty is not a job. It's who you are. The years continued. Curry breaking records, winning titles, becoming a legend. And Marcus? Marcus was always there, in the shadow, 2 steps behind, invisible shield. But 2020 changed everything. Pandemic. Warriors had a terrible season. Curry injured, and the global economy in collapse. Sports organizations bleeding money. The economy improving, but the damage was done. Warriors needed to cut costs everywhere. And individual personal security? It was a luxury they could no longer justify. January 2024. Corporate meeting. Kevin O'Connor, now Vice President of Security, received orders. Cut 15% of the security budget. Consolidate services. Kevin looked at the list. Marcus Williams was there. 13 years. Highest salary among security guards due to years of service. Mathematically, it made sense to dismiss him. But Kevin knew Marcus, knew his dedication. "Can't we make an exception here?" he asked his superiors. "Kevin, it's business, not emotions. He'll understand." But Kevin knew it wasn't about understanding. It was about injustice, about the disposability of loyalty on the corporate spreadsheet. He had to call Marcus to the office. The 15th of March, 2024. The day that would change everything. "Marcus, sit down." Kevin could barely look him in the eyes. Marcus sat, heart all ready, knowing but mind still hoping to be wrong. "Look, there's no easy way to say this. The organization is going through restructuring, budget cuts, and individual personal security is being eliminated. We'll have a shared team." Silence. "Marcus, you're being dismissed. Effective today." The words fell like bombs, but Marcus didn't move. 13 years of training not to show emotion. It worked, even now. "I understand." That was all he said. "Does Steph know?" Marcus asked. "He's in training. We'll inform him." Can I say goodbye? Kevin looked genuinely sad. Marcus, he'll be in training the rest of the day. Tomorrow they travel to Denver. Maybe it's better to just disappear. Marcus completed. Like I always was. Invisible. It's not like that, isn't it? Marcus finally let emotion show. 13 years. Does he know my full name? Does he know I have a daughter? Does he know I took a cracked rib for him? No, because I was always just the security guard. And now I'm not even that. He stood up. Where do I sign? The paperwork was quick. 13 years ending in 15 minutes and 3 signatures. Marcus received a cardboard box. He packed his belongings. A single photo with Curry, taken by accident in 2015. Warrior's cap, generic Christmas gift. ID card that was now deactivated. He walked through the corridor for the last time, passed by the court where Curry was training. He could hear balls bouncing. He could hear Curry laughing at something a teammate said, a sound Marcus had heard thousands of times. He stopped, wanted to enter, wanted to say goodbye. But he didn't. Because that's not how it worked. Security guards don't say goodbye. They just disappear. And Marcus disappeared. How much would you give for someone who will never know? 1 week later, Marcus was sitting in a small apartment in Oakland. Bills scattered on the table. Bank account showing a number that made his stomach turn. $3,000. That was all. 13 years of work, and $3,000 in savings. Because the rest went to Sophie, for schools, for doctors, for the life he wanted to give her, even being a single father. Sophie entered the room, 14 years old now, beautiful, smart, and suffering. The scoliosis had worsened, constant pain. Doctors saying that surgery couldn't wait any longer. "Dad, are you okay?" Marcus forced a smile, his specialty. "I'm great, Princess. How's the pain?" "Bad today," she admitted, trying to be strong. Like her father. "I'll get the surgery, Sophie, I promise." "I know you will." She believed him, always believed, and that broke and strengthened Marcus simultaneously. The phone rang. Unknown number. Marcus answered. "Marcus Williams?" "Yes." "My name is Anthony Zhang. I'm an athlete's agent. I heard you were recently dismissed by the Warriors." Marcus tensed. "How did you know?" News travels fast in sports circles, especially about the best personal security guard in the league. "What do you want?" "To make a proposal. I have a client, NBA star. He needs elite personal security. And I heard you're the best." Marcus hesitated. "Who's the client?" "I can't say before you sign a confidentiality agreement, but I can say this. I'll pay you 3 times what the Warriors paid you. $150,000 per year. Full benefits. Starts immediately." The number hit Marcus like lightning. 150,000. That would solve everything. Sophie's surgery. Bills. Future. "Why so generous?" Marcus asked, suspicious. "Because you're worth it. And because my client plays against the Warriors regularly. Having someone who knows their system? That's valuable." And there it was. The truth. Marcus would be expected to use his knowledge of the Warriors, of Curry, against them. "I need to think," Marcus said. "I understand, but the offer expires in 48 hours. Other security guards want the position." Marcus hung up, looked at Sophie, doing homework at the kitchen table. Hand on her lower back, massaging the pain. 3 times the salary. Surgery guaranteed. Secure future. Everything he wanted for her. But it would cost something. It would cost loyalty. It would cost who he was. That night, 3 in the morning, Marcus was awake. Sophie sleeping beside him in the bedroom they shared. One-bedroom apartment was all they could afford. He looked at the photo with Curry on the bedside table. 2015. After the first championship, Curry had just received the MVP trophy. Team photographer asked for a quick photo with staff. Marcus was in the corner. Curry pulled him forward. "Marcus is part of this too," Curry said. At the time, Marcus felt validation, felt that he was seen. But now he realized it was an isolated moment. In 13 years, one photo, one acknowledgement. He won't even miss me, Marcus thought. He already has a new security guard. Life goes on for him. But for Marcus, if he accepted the rival proposal, life would change. Financially, it would improve. But spiritually? Morally? Sophie moaned in her sleep. Pain even while sleeping. Marcus felt his heart tighten. "Sorry, princess," he whispered. "Sorry, I can't give you everything." He picked up his phone. Typed Anthony Jang's number, cursor blinking. One click and everything would change. Surgery, stability, future. Loyalty doesn't end when the payment stops. Marcus deleted the number, threw the phone, put his face in, his hands. Because he couldn't. Even with Sophie needing surgery. Even with bills piling up. Even with an uncertain future. He couldn't turn his back on 13 years of loyalty. Couldn't use his knowledge of Curry against him. Couldn't become something he despised. The next morning, Anthony called again. "Marcus, what's the verdict?" "I can't accept." Stunned silence. "You're refusing $150,000 per year?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because I spent 13 years protecting someone. I'm not going to turn my back now just because he doesn't pay me anymore." "That's financial madness?" "Maybe, but it's the only way to sleep at night." Marcus hung up. Sophie heard the conversation. "Dad, what did you just do?" Marcus looked at her. "The right thing, I hope. But the surgery. I'll figure it out, princess. Without betraying who I am." Sophie hugged her father. "I love you. I love you too." And Marcus started a new life. Looking for work. Shopping mall security paid $20 per hour. Night security paid $25. He accepted both. He worked 16 hours a day again, but now for a fraction of the salary. But every night, without fail, Marcus did something that no one knew. He went to Warriors games. Not as an employee, as a fan. He bought the cheapest ticket available. Top level. Far from everyone. But there. Watching. Always watching. Because 13 years of instinct don't turn off because you were dismissed. And Marcus didn't trust the new security guard. He saw flaws. He saw blind spots. And he was afraid. If something happens, Marcus thought every night in the arena. If something happens and I can help, I need to be there. Was it madness? Probably. Spending $50 he didn't have on a ticket to protect someone who no longer employed him? Irrational. But loyalty is rarely rational. It's just the essence of who you are. And then came the game that would change everything. The 25th of April, 2024. Warriors against Lakers. Playoffs. Crucial game. Electric arena. And Marcus there, top level, section 214, alone. Watching not the game, but the perimeter. Second quarter. Curry at the free throw line. And Marcus saw it. Something the new security guard didn't see. A fan in the front rows. Clearly intoxicated. Stumbling. Trying to stand but unbalanced. Marcus knew the signs. 13 years had trained him to anticipate problems before they happened. The fan. Tried to stand, stumbled. Seat security didn't notice in time. Curry's new security guard was checking the other side, and the fan was falling, directly toward the court, toward Curry. Everything slowed down for Marcus. Instinct took over. 13 years of muscle memory activated. He didn't think. Just ran. 3 floors of stairs. Descended in seconds that seemed like eternity. Jumped over seats. People screaming. But Marcus focused on one thing: preventing the fan from falling on top of Curry. The fan stumbled over the barrier, security trying to reach but too far. Curry finishing the free throw, back turned, oblivious to the danger. Marcus arrived at the exact moment, intercepted the fall, took the full impact. Both fell. Marcus absorbed the impact to protect both the fan and Curry from serious injuries. Stadium security arrived, helped the intoxicated fan. Marcus on the ground, knee scraped, but everyone's safe. Moderate confusion, cameras, curious crowd. Marcus, in pain, stood up, saw Curry safe. That was all that mattered. He started to leave, blend into the crowd, disappear, like he always did. But Curry turned. For a second their eyes met. Recognition flickered in Curry's eyes. "Wait, Marcus?" But Marcus was already leaving, losing himself in the confusion. Because he didn't come for recognition. He came to help. And help doesn't seek applause. It just fulfills purpose. In the locker room after the game, Curry couldn't stop thinking. He had seen the face. For a second. But it was familiar. Very familiar. "Who was that guy?" Curry asked the new security guard, Daniel Patel. "I don't know. Someone from the crowd intercepted before I could get there." Someone from the crowd? Curry didn't believe it. He moved like a professional. "They helped the drunk fan. The interceptor disappeared before we could thank him." Curry couldn't let it go. Something about that intervention, that movement, it was too professional, too trained. "Can I see the security? Cameras?" Curry asked Kevin O'Connor the next day. "Why?" "I just want to see who saved me yesterday." Kevin hesitated. He knew who it was. He had seen the cameras. But show Curry? It would mean revealing an uncomfortable truth. "Steph, about that." "Kevin, please, just show me." Kevin sighed, pulled up the video, and there it was, clear as day. Marcus Williams, running 3 floors, intercepting the fall, taking the impact, protecting Curry from an accident. Curry froze. "But that's Marcus?" "Yes." "My former security guard?" "Yes." "But he was dismissed 2 months ago." "Why was he there? And why did he still protect me?" Kevin didn't have an answer. Or he did, but didn't know how to verbalize the mystery of loyalty that transcends employment. "Where is he now?" Curry asked. Tone changing, urgency appearing. "I don't know. He doesn't work here anymore." "Kevin, give me his contact." "Steph, I can't just—" "Kevin!" Curry rarely raised his voice. "This man protected me for 13 years, and I didn't even know. Then he was dismissed, and still protected me. Don't ask me to let this go." Kevin handed over the file. Curry spent hours reading, and with each page, horror grew. Incident reports that Marcus resolved silently. Complex situations managed that Curry never knew about. Problems eliminated before they came close. 2013. Marcus, with cracked rib, continued working. 2017. Emotional problem with Marcus's daughter at school. He resolved it alone. Never mentioned it. 2019. Marcus hired a private tutor for his own daughter so as not to distract Curry before the finals. And the list went on and on. 13 years of invisible sacrifices. My God, Curry whispered. How did I not know? Because he never asked. Because he assumed security was just a job. Because Marcus always made it look easy. Invisible. Curry tried to call. Number disconnected. Old address on file. He went personally. New building. Neighbor said, Marcus? Moved months ago. Financial problems, I heard. Guilt swallowed Curry. He's broke? Why? What happened? But Curry knew. Dismissed. Probably no savings. And here was Curry. Millionaire. Living comfortably. While the man who protected him for 13 years was struggling. I need to find him. Curry hired a private investigator. 2 days later. Found him. He works as a parking lot night security guard in Oakland. The address arrived, and that night, Curry went. Parking lot on the outskirts of Oakland. 11 at night. Curry parked his Porsche that stood out absurdly. Got out. Saw Marcus in the cheap uniform. Exhausted. 10 years older than 2 months ago. Curry walked. Heavy heart. Marcus was checking cars. Didn't see the approach. Marcus? Marcus turned. Absolute shock. Steph, Mr. Curry, what are you? You shouldn't be here. It's not safe. Marcus's first thought? He was still Curry's security guard, still worried. Marcus, why were you at the game? I just went to watch. No, you protected me, again, after being dismissed. Why? Marcus couldn't hide anymore. 13 years of professionalism crumbling under Curry's direct gaze. Because I can't stop. 13 years. It becomes who you are. And I don't trust the new guy. I saw flaws, and I was afraid something would happen to you. So you bought tickets to protect me? Without being paid? Loyalty isn't about payment, Steph. Don't call me Steph. You always called me Mr. Curry. For 13 years. You kept professional distance. Why? Because that was my job. To protect, not to be a friend. And you did it. Perfectly. I read the files, Marcus. I saw everything. The complex situations you managed, the sacrifices you made, the cracked rib, your daughter's emotional problem that you resolved alone, everything. Marcus was crying now. You shouldn't have read that. Why not? Why didn't you ever tell me? About any of it? Because it wasn't your weight to carry. It was my honor to bear. The words echoed in the empty parking lot. Raw truth finally spoken after 13 years. During the conversation, Marcus's phone rang. He checked. Sophie. Dad, where are you? I'm in a lot of pain today. Princess, I'll be home soon. Is she okay? Curry asked. Marcus hesitated, but already broken. No reason to hide. She has scoliosis. She needs surgery. But I haven't managed to save enough yet. How much does it cost? $80,000. But I'll get it. I just need more time. Curry felt something break inside him. Marcus, you sacrificed everything for me. And your daughter is suffering because you don't have money for surgery? And I have millions. It's not your responsibility. It is, Curry raised his voice. You protected me for 13 years, sacrificed your family, your body, your future, and I didn't even know your full name. This is my responsibility now. True loyalty is invisible until it's too late. Marcus, which hospital? Steph, don't... I'm not asking. Which hospital? Marcus, defeated by compassion, gave the name. Curry called immediately. Hospital CEO. Yes, this is Steph Curry. I need to schedule urgent surgery for Sophie Williams. Scoliosis. Best surgeon available. Tomorrow, if possible. Everything on my account. Marcus was crying. You don't need to. I do. And this isn't even close to enough. You gave me 13 years. I'll give you the rest of my life in gratitude. But Curry didn't stop there. When is your next day off? I don't have days off. I work 2 jobs. Not anymore, because you'll be too busy at your new job. What new job? You'll see. 1 week later, the 2nd of May, 2024. Warriors home game against Denver. Playoffs. Arena packed with 18,000 people. Electric energy. Marcus was there. VIP ticket arrived mysteriously. He thought it was Curry's kindness for what happened. He sat, watching the game. But second quarter, something strange happened. Curry called timeout. There was no scheduled timeout. Coach confused but trusted. Curry walked to the scorer's table, grabbed the microphone. Arena silenced. This wasn't normal. Sorry to interrupt the game, Curry began, voice echoing. But I need to do something. Something I should have done 13 years ago. Confusion in the arena. What was happening? Marcus Williams, are you here? The Jumbotron showed the VIP section. Camera found Marcus. Zoom in. His face, projected to 18,000 people. He froze, mortified. What? Spotlight on him now. Nowhere to run. This man, Curry pointed to the Jumbotron, protected me for 13 years, and I barely knew who he was. Arena listening with total attention now. He managed complex situations I never knew about, took injuries I never saw, was dismissed by a corporate decision I wasn't even consulted on. But you know what he did after? Absolute silence. He refused a job paying 3 times more, because it would be betraying his loyalty to me. Gasps from the crowd. He bought tickets from his own empty pocket to continue protecting me. For free. More gasps. And 2 weeks ago, when a drunk fan stumbled and was falling in my direction, Marcus was here. Unemployed. But he ran 3 floors. Took the impact that was meant for me. Protected me from a serious accident. Arena exploded in emotion. People crying. Because this was a story of pure loyalty. Of sacrifice without expectation of return. And I discovered something else, Curry's voice breaking now. His daughter needs surgery, and he didn't have money because he was dismissed, because he was too loyal to betray. Marcus, on the Jumbotron, tears streaming. Trying to hide, but there was no way. So today, Marcus Williams, in front of 18,000 witnesses, I want to do some things. Curry looked directly at the camera, at Marcus. First, you are rehired as Chief of Personal Security. Salary, $200,000 per year for life. Arena exploded, but Curry raised his hand. There was more. Second, I created a $2 million fund for Sophie. Education, health, future. She will never worry financially again. Marcus couldn't breathe. This was unreal. Third, Warriors will create the Marcus Williams Loyalty Award, annually recognizing an employee who demonstrates extraordinary loyalty. $50,000 per year. And fourth, Curry descended from the court, started walking through the stands, directly to Marcus. 18,000 people watching. Collective held breath. Curry arrived. Marcus tried to stand, but his legs wouldn't work. Curry knelt in front of him, eye level. Marcus, I'm sorry. For 13 years, for not seeing you, for not valuing you, for letting you be dismissed, for not knowing your full name, for everything. You don't need to. I do. Because you taught me something today. You taught me what loyalty really means. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to repay not even a fraction of what you gave me. Curry hugged Marcus. There, in front of everyone, 5-minute embrace. 18,000 people crying. Because they were witnessing something rare. Pure humanity. Real gratitude. Deserved recognition. Greatness is not forgetting who protected you. It's ensuring they are never forgotten. The video went viral. 200 million views in 24 hours. Not for scandal. Not for drama. For humanity. For a reminder that invisible people in our lives deserve recognition. Hashtag Recognize Your Protectors global trend. Other athletes started sharing stories of staff who sacrificed. A movement was born. LeBron James posted, "How many people in our lives do what Marcus did? Invisible, loyal, unrecognized. Time to change that." Magic Johnson. Steph Curry just taught the world the most important lesson. Success is not individual. It's collective. And those in the shadows deserve light. Tom Brady. Players get glory. But who protects us? Who supports us? They make it possible. Recognize your protectors. The culture began to change, slowly but visibly. Recognition no longer just for stars, but for those who make stars shine. 3 weeks later, Sophie had surgery, complete success, best surgeon, perfect recovery. And when she woke up, Curry was there, with Marcus. "Uncle Steph?" Sophie confused. "Hi, Sophie. Your dad told me a lot about you." "He did?" Marcus, beside her, held her hand. "Always do, princess. Always." "Thank you," Sophie said to Curry, "for helping my dad. He deserves it." "No," Curry gently corrected. "He deserved this 13 years ago. It just took too long to realize." 6 months later. Marcus back at work, but everything different. No longer invisible. Recognized, respected. And not just by Curry. By the entire organization, by fans, by the league. Other teams started creating similar awards, recognizing loyal staff, culture changing. 1 year after the moment in the arena, Warriors Gala event, Marcus on stage, with Curry, receiving the first Marcus Williams Loyalty Award, ironic since the award has his name. Journalist Sarah Mitchell interviewing, "Marcus, why did you do all that? 13 years, without recognition, without glamour." Why, Marcus thought. Because loyalty isn't about receiving. It's about giving. And protection? Protection is love in action. I loved what I did, and who I protected. Simple as that. And now that you have recognition, it just confirms that I served the right person. Because the right person eventually sees, eventually recognizes. I just needed patience. What do you want people to take from this story? Marcus looked at the camera. Look around. Who are the Marcuses in your lives? Who protects you, supports you, serves you, without asking for recognition, without expecting glory? See them. Recognize them. Before it's too late. Curry, beside him, added, "Marcus protected me for 13 years. But the greatest gift he gave me wasn't protection. It was a lesson. A lesson that greatness isn't forgetting who helped you. It's elevating them with you." Years later, a documentary about the Warriors dynasty included an entire segment about Marcus. Not as a footnote, but as an essential chapter. Because they realized, without Marcus, the story would be different. His protection allowed Curry to focus, to flourish, to shine. Final scene of the documentary, Marcus and Curry in the empty corridor of the Chase Center. Same corridor where Marcus walked with a cardboard box years ago. But now Marcus walking with purpose, with recognition, with Sophie running after him. "Dad, wait!" Curry turns, sees Sophie, smiles. "Uncle Steph!" she screams, because now they're family. No longer employer-employee. Family. Marcus looks at Curry. You know you didn't need to do all this. I know, but I wanted to, because you gave me 13 years. Let me give you the rest of my life. Deal. They shake hands. But then Curry pulls him into a hug. Thank you, Marcus, for everything, but especially for teaching me that success without gratitude is hollow. Thank you for finally seeing me. I always saw you, just took too long to show it. They walk together, no longer 2 steps behind, side by side, because that's how it should have been from the beginning. And Marcus, for the first time in 13 years, is not in the shadows. He's in the light, where he always deserved to be, because the greatest sacrifices are those that no one sees, until someone decides to look, decides to recognize, decides to honor, and when they do, it changes everything. For the person recognized, for the person recognizing, and for everyone watching, learning that invisible loyalty deserves visible validation. It always deserved it, and it's never too late to give it.